Welcome in, Stick Kid family. Episode number 51. It has been 2 months since this kid and I have hopped on the mic. We've heard from everyone. They miss it. Where are you guys at? Need some vids, need some takes. We're back. We're ready to give it to you on episode 51, Stick Kid Sports. How we feeling today?
They needed us back.
Needed us.
Stick Kid Sports was missing for much too long. But we're here. We're in person for every single episode. So that's going to bring a lot more fun, a lot more excitement to these episodes. We're going to be able to talk things out a little bit more intensely, if you might want to say. And everything's going to be on YouTube in great quality because we're both in person. It's not going to be a split screen Zoom looking like. It's going to look very good, professional. So stay tuned for that.
We are excited. New place in Tampa, guys. Unreal. Our spot's perfect. We're right by all the popping things.
Yep.
We'll be going to different games, events. The YouTube's going to go crazy. Make sure you subscribe. The YouTube's, number one thing. Stick Kid Hoops. We're going to be posting all over that. So just stay on the lookout because the content's going to be so much fun. We just recorded our first joint YouTube video.
Yep. So stay tuned for that.
So much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. We're going to have all types of hoops content with the podcast as well. So let's get after it, boys.
Let's do it. All right, we're hopping in. Starting us off here, we got a lot of football. To be honest, not a lot of basketball, unfortunately, right? That's kind of why we didn't do much podcasting. We'll be honest. Didn't have
a little dry.
Right. What are we going to talk about, right? We're a basketball pod. But football-wise, we got college football back. We bet on Notre Dame and
Navy.
And
went okay.
I think we go up?
We went about even, I'd say.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Went about even for the first game. Navy let us down because we had their spread. But other than that, Prize Picks treated us well. So we went about even.
Yeah, because under was we had the total game under. We had the spread of Navy. So just was a kind of a hit or miss. But game of the week coming up for me, there's a huge one. And it's at a neutral site in Orlando, LSU and Florida State. That's a big time game for week one.
Huge game. Being in Florida now, we I feel like have to support FSU. So it's in Orlando, which isn't far from us, actually, about 3 hours. So if we really wanted to, we could definitely make that stretch out there. But it's going to be a very intense game, to start off college football.
To be safe. That's what I think college basketball started doing, and I'm excited. College football, usually those week 1, week 2s, you're getting some bogus opponents, and it's just a joke. So,
well, I know overall people were disappointed with the week 1 schedule overall, but this is a very fun game. The rest of the games aren't great. I know Florida, Utah should be exciting. That's on Thursday, though. Right. So not on the main Saturday, but it's going to be fun. You had a very hot take on who you think is going to dub.
Listen, number 8 team in the land, Florida State's going. It's a home game for them, right? Couple hour drive. I'd say it's probably about 4 hours from where they're at. I could be wrong, but it's a way shorter commute than LSU's making. I think they pack it in and they pull off an upset week 1 that is going to make people notice Florida State, what they have going. I have an inside source from about a month and a half ago when I purchased my new whip.
Oh, yeah.
So a big Florida State Seminole fan was telling me this is their year. So I'm riding Florida State. I got to.
I hope Florida State wins for sure. But as everyone knows, LSU is such a historic football program. But, FSU, I feel like they kind of had pretty good expectations last year, and they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit, even though they had such a great QB that everyone was expecting. So I hope that they come back from that in a weak ACC and maybe make a run because they have to win this game, to be honest, if they want anything to do with the college football playoff.
That's the worst part about it. And that's why no one wants to schedule these week 1 type matchups because this loss could make or break your berth, right?
Right. Make or break the season, first week.
So it'll be fun. But we got both Florida State then?
We're gonna ride the Seminoles this week.
Let's go. Yep. Hot take for me, though, NBA-wise, because we have FIBA World Basketball Championships right now. You'll see our rankings in a bit. But I'm pressed to say it, guys, and you'll see my list in a few. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, best player in the FIBA World Championships right now.
I don't hate it at all, bro.
This dude is absolutely cooking. He's making it look easy. You saw the video. I went about it. I talked about it. But if you follow me up on TikTok, but it was this guy's really, really good, man. I love Shea, what he's doing right now.
Well, Shea, he's just been so much on the come up from this past NBA season. He's just taking it to the next level. I feel like almost every time we see him play.
Yeah.
So, and he just kind of does everything. You know, it's someone who plays defense. It's someone who facilitates and can be a playmaker. But I think what he's truly meant to be is a wing scorer. And he was forced last year to be a point guard. But I feel like on, you know, this Canada team, he's not being that point guard role as much. And he's just doing everything that he's supposed to do. And he's just such a great player. I really think that he's going to have an even bigger breakout season if that's possible this year in NBA.
Let's go. I like Shea. You'll see our list later. We're going into some top fives of FIBA World Basketball Championship players, but we're transitioning in. We're gonna go into some games. We're kicking it right off.
Yeah.
We want to make it fun for you guys. We want you guys posting, commenting when we post these videos. What other games we can do to add some value to our podcast. We're always looking to improve and learn, right?
Yes, we're gonna try to keep episodes shorter, guys. As you guys know, we'd always get over about 50 minutes to an hour in our episodes. We're trying to cut it down to the 30 minutes. So then, you know, it's shorter and easier listen for your guys' drives, maybe to work, wherever you're going. But I think that, you know, we're going to cut down on the news a little bit as well and focus more on debatable, fun games for you guys, because that's what you guys seem to enjoy the most, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. But let us know.
Let us know. Guys that you want to see, a game you want us to play, whatever. We're always down to hop in on something new. But first game we're going to do, fun one, top 5 centers in the NBA going into this season. So who's going to be the best center in 2023? This is funny because we were just talking briefly about it.
Yeah, yesterday.
It came up. We're like, wait, this is kind of debatable, weirdly. You know, you have your top 2-3 guys, but I think from there it kind of opens up and who's going to slide in, especially for this year coming in. So,
yeah.
Ford, do you want to kick us off for top 5 centers?
Sure. You know, I think that the first 2, in my opinion, are not debatable, and I think that there should be a clear 1 and a clear 2. Jokic is the 1. I mean, he might be the 1 in the entire NBA right now, which is crazy to say.
Nuts.
I mean, he's unbelievable. He does everything. We already know. Won his championship without even trying, it seems. But yeah, Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2. We saw that coming. Fraudulent MVP. 3, for next season, guys, I think Bam Adebayo is going to take his game to another level and get to that 3 spot for centers. I know he's undersized, right? But he can score a lot better than he could in the beginning of his leagues. Sorry, boys. At 4, AD. I think he might just get injured. You know, that's what I worry about. He had a pretty healthy season last season, right?
It's hit or miss,
right? So what are the odds that he has 2 seasons in a row where he's healthy? I don't really see it. I don't think that the Lakers are probably going to be as good as they were this season. It's just tough. You know, they keep getting older. It's hard. You know, it's hard for these Lakers. Like, how long can they keep it up? You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to drop to the 4, maybe with health concerns. 5, Pascal Siakam of the Raptors.
We talked about him a little bit yesterday.
A little bit. I think that, you know, a lot of people consider him maybe top 7. I think that he might take a little leap here. I think he's one of the best, you know, versatile centers. You know, he's that new generation of centers.
Sure.
He can hit his shots. He makes a lot of free throws. He draws to the line. Like, honestly, he needs someone like Giannis to guard him. You know, ADs to guard him. He really has mismatches with a lot of centers in the league. When you think about people like Nurkic or, you know, those bigger, heavier type centers, Sabonis even. I think that Siakam's just like a future player. He's like a power forward center mix, which is the future of the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, we talk about this. Siakam, you know, Jaren Jackson, you know, a couple of these guys, like just Bam even a little bit.
Yeah.
Just they're more like that 4-5 hybrid, and we're putting them in centers conversation because that's just the center position.
That's where they've been playing, even though they're maybe typical power forwards, you know, size-wise in the league. But, I mean, AD could even be kind of.
AD's another one. 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
So it's just kind of the future of the league, in my opinion, these guys.
Right. I like it, though. The Siakam play was the slide in. That's a good one. My top 5, I am going as well. So number 1, we'll start there. It's going to be Jokic. The Joker himself is arguably, like you said, the best player in the NBA going into this season.
Yeah, he's that guy.
I mean, he's that good. He's doing things we haven't seen before. At 1, guaranteed for me. And most people, really. If you don't have him 1, I'm concerned that you don't watch basketball enough.
Yes. 2,
Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is, I mean, he's obviously a guy that is just dominant.
The best scorer.
He's that bigger center, and he always seems to, you know, play at high expectations in the regular season. Postseason's a different story, but we won't talk about that right now. 3, I do go Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is, again, a great scorer. The ability for him to change a game with his presence on the floor to me is just greater than the other people that I have below him. So AD is going to slide in at 3 for me.
Yeah.
And then at 4 is where I take a little bit of a turn than most people probably have. And that's where I think a presence player that is picking up steam every year, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Sparty, you can say that's biased. I get it. But Jaren Jackson has improved every single instance I've watched him, especially recently. His injuries were a little bit subject to him. He had a good year this year, and he's improving a lot. FIBA, he's looking really good. I like him to slide in on my top 5 this year. And again, similar position to him, I think at 5, I go Bam. Bam is very same way. Like, I just think his ability, his improvement in the past, especially this year, I watch him with the Heat. I'm shocked how good he's gotten. Both these players, it was tough for me to pick which one. I think Jaren takes a bigger leap. Bam's kind of solidified himself more, I think, already. So that's why I put Jaren at 4. But Bam is going to round out my 5 for top centers.
I love that. Bam had to slide in the 5 at least.
Had to.
Jaren Jackson as well. I think it's huge actually for him with John Morant out.
That's big.
Because I think he will, kind of be that main guy maybe over Bane on the Memphis team. It's tough though because he doesn't get the passes from Ja, but I don't know. I really still think with Marcus Smart, he'll still get a lot of touches.
Forgot about Big Smart over there now. That's
crazy. He's going to be running the point right to start.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's going to be very interesting for sure, but he's still a facilitating point guard overall and brings good energy. Jaren Jackson, he's developed his 3 so much. He's very versatile, and he's such a great defender. I mean, defensive player of the year before. He's very, very good.
Yep, I had to slide him in. He's balling out. But lists, let us know, who got the better list, what's debatable, what's not. Love that about the top 5s. Transition into what's going on currently. We'll talk about it for a second before we get into it. But FIBA basketball. Yeah. I mean, what do you like about FIBA? What's your vibe with it?
I just like to see how it's so separated. Besides the USA, obviously. I was very disappointed seeing the roster for USA at first. I think a lot of people were. It's like, oh, we don't have the stars. Like back in the day, we had like LeBron, Kobe, like the same Dwayne Wade, Melo, same team. That was so much fun. And then you see. I mean, no offense to these guys, but I mean, it's like some third options on teams. It's just completely different.
It is different. There was the post, I think we reacted to it way back, and it was like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, so that would have been fun.
It was like a lot of guys that aren't in this. And I mean, I get it. It seems to be more of a younger kind of thing, but it would be so much fun if these guys, like an instance I give, I think is and the MLB's done. They have that World Baseball Classic, very comparable. I think a lot of times with that, you're getting like the best players, and I think that's fun. Like you get the best like American. Yeah, exactly. Like Mookie, whatever. I think that's super fun. I know it's not. There's players that don't like to do it, but they've done a better job with getting top talent in it. This is the only problem is you don't get maybe the best, but you get rising talent that is trying to solidify their names, which I think that's cool. I mean, Anthony Edwards, obviously he's becoming an all-star.
Love that. Yeah.
He's pushing into the conversation. And now he gets to showcase himself on a stage like this. So there's some pros and cons, right? If you get all the professional, or the studs in the league to come in, is it too much dominance?
But one thing that I'll say is, like when you think about Greece, Giannis isn't playing. It's like Greece, the only way they have a chance with someone like Giannis. It's like, how are you not going to play? It's not like it's USA, like where you can get so many stacked players, right?
That's true.
It's like, why not have all the Antetokounmpo brothers and make it fun, like Spain with the Gasol brothers? It's always Spain versus US in the championship. Like Greece could have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could, and that's what's going to make it more marketable for the FIBA, right?
And that's why it's not.
That's why it's not.
You know what I'm saying? Because even these foreign guys some of them aren't playing. Like shout out Luka for playing this year, which is awesome. It's such a big face of the league now. But I think that they need that at least on the other teams because USA is always stacked. We all know that. Like they're always expected to win.
Right.
So at least Canada did a good job this year, and I think that's what it's going to be. USA, Canada. It's going to be sweet.
That'll be fun. Yeah, that's true. I think that's the only problem with especially these countries that need their star. You can't if they didn't have Luka, if Slovenia didn't have Luka, it's no existence. No one cares.
No one knows.
Exactly.
And do you have a sleeper team that you think, I guess, could make a run, maybe upset?
I'm trying to think who I have. that might be a sleeper team?
Well, for me to start it
Yeah, go
off,
ahead.
I would go with Australia.
Okay.
I just think that they have an overall, decent amount of NBA guys and talent that I
Right.
think can get it done. Speaking of, Josh Giddey, who's, really come alive in this league. They also have, some role player guys, lefty Joe Ingles, Patty Mills, who's getting older at this time. But they're good, they are good players and they work well together. They're very unselfish. They just come to win.
That's true. I like that pick. I think they bring some just energy that's different.
They do.
It's a good mix of players.
It's nice. They have a good team.
Watch out. Man, this is tough for me, but I honestly, I think what I'm looking at for player-wise, depending on, how you mix in with it, I think Germany's got a couple boys.
They do.
Franz, Schroeder. I mean, that's two off the bat.
They probably have
They
Mo
probably
too.
they got a decent group that I need the stats up for the FIBA because I didn't remember seeing their name come across for their game one, but that's a team that has some sleepers. France is slipping in too for his position. They could have had an insane team.
You see, where's Victor?
Victor,
you're young too. What are you doing?
Yeah, he honestly, I mean,
Victor is soft. Just so you guys all know, I'm already fully off of him.
He said he's gone to go to France because he doesn't want the attention of the media.
You're in the NBA. What's he gonna do? He's a rookie. This is when you're supposed to love it.
Right. It hit him hard. He just was not being from the States. Maybe I don't know.
After that first game, that's all what it was. Did terrible and then gets absolutely destroyed across social media.
Yep.
I mean,
it wasn't about getting the publicity at draft night before. He loves that, right?
It's all a joke. Once you do bad, and now it's bad, that's when it all goes down.
The only thing I'll say is that, being so young, that's the other opposite end. If he's scared to not perform well, right? You have such a hype to live up to, and he has so much of that hype, more than we've seen. I mean, they say since LeBron. There's always that since LeBron take, but it's definitely one of the players that's had the most. I mean, we were talking about him since he was
a while,
16.
For sure.
So I just think he's all this hype, all this stuff. He's like, just make sure I'm ready and prepped to go for the season, and doesn't want to have all that attention. But it's a chance to showcase yourself with a nice France team. If they had him, I for sure am saying France. But they got
him and Gobert.
Gobert be sweet. Wow. Yeah. I think. I mean, they got Fournier, Gobert. They have some more guys too, off the top of my head. But they're not a bad team. France or Germany for sure. Canada's. I mean, they're dominant. I wouldn't even say they're a sleeper.
No,
so
I can't say them.
Right.
So,
All right, we're going to get into now what we think is our top 5 players in the FIBA basketball championship. So this is just for FIBA, which is where we went. So I'll start us off for this one for what I did. And I'm starting off at 5 up. Right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's switch it up. At 5, you guys know I talk about him. Austin Reeves, baby. All right? My man is stone cold. He's clutch. He's shown it already.
No.
He creates his own shot nowadays. He's actually showing every toolkit that he's got in his bag.
Yeah.
I like Austin Reeves. I think I saw his game 1 highlights. He looked really good. I think really his preseason FIBA highlights were where they played the practice games before. He was really cooking. So I like Reeves to slip in for me. At 4, Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen, I would say a humongous 2021, 2022 campaign. Wow. This year again, showed that he was
great this year.
Great again. So he's now consistently dominating. He's got to be in there. He's going to make a huge impact. I think he went for about 28 and 5 in his first game. So got to shout him out. And then at 3, my Kobe MJ replica, Anthony Edwards. My man is absolutely balling. I mean, we watched him in game 1 and those preseason highlights. It was actually really impressive what he was doing. So I love him. He's going to solidify in top 3 for me. This is where I put something down. I'm contemplating. We know who the top 2 are for a lot of people, but for FIBA basketball, I still am going to go with that too. I'm going to go Luka. Luka, I think there's a couple reasons why I do this. Luka Doncic is on a team that doesn't have a lot of pieces, right? So I think he's going to have to maybe score the ball more, which he'll look better for. But when I think FIBA, I want to see winners, right? I want to see a guy that's going to take his team to all the way. And I don't think Luka can do it even with the way he plays. Luka went for 37. yes, the highest scorer in the FIBA for game ones, but the guy I have in front of him just does it all, and he's been in a position, as you mentioned, that makes him look really good and where I think he's most comfortable. So at 2, Luka, and at 1, SGA, man. Come on. Maybe not overall in the NBA, but for this next couple weeks, I go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to
I love that, Brad. Great list. I think Reeves is a little bit of recency. But I love Reeves, though. Like, I don't think anyone dislikes Reeves. It's just,
Yeah.
You know how it is with Reeves.
Yep.
All right, my top 5. Someone that you guys may or may not know. Booted out of the league recently. He played for the Brooklyn Nets. Hollis Jefferson.
Wow, what a name.
What a name. You guys may remember him from high school, mixtapes.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be very, very good. But he's not in the NBA any longer as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But he's showing out in FIBA and shows that he has that NBA talent, right?
100%.
At 4, we have the Knicks guard, Jalen Brunson. Shocked that he wasn't on Brad's list. Brad is a huge fan of him. I love his game. He's the typical point guard that can also score the ball a little bit, undersized. I think he's perfect for the FIBA game as well. He's just a floor general that every single team needs. And he's going to help carry this team, when they need him. 3, Ant Edwards. Of course, he's supposed to have been so good since day one, number 1 pick in the draft. But, he's really putting it together. He's not as young anymore. He's showing a lot of his talent, not taking crazy shots like he used to be. He's good.
He's so good.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's really good.
And then we have the same top 2. At 2, Luka. At 1, SGA, guys. Since last year, I've just been really about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. Luka, I love Luka's game as well, but I don't know if he is a winner. I really, truly don't, guys. And that's what concerns me. SGA hasn't had that opportunity really yet. He made the play-in last year, which was his first little taste. And I was not disappointed at all with what I saw from him. I really wasn't. Luka has had the teammates, the teams that I think he could at least make a championship. And he hasn't done it yet. I know this is FIBA, but this applies. Because can he, carry the team? I don't know if he can. He's a great player, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I've got SGA at 1.
SGA at 1 for us. What are you doing with NBA this year coming in? Are you SGA over Luka going into the season?
I personally would.
Wow. Look at this. I mean, hey, I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
No, I mean, look at the defense with Luka. It's terrible. You would have better defense in the NBA than Luka Doncic.
Yeah, he's saving for the step back threes that he's shooting all game.
I mean, he puts zero effort in. There's zero effort. He doesn't try. He's a little slightly overweight. He's so slow. He's not quick at all.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he plays this very slow game of basketball, which somehow works for him. It's magic. It's Luka magic. You don't get how it works, but it does on offense. But his defense, terrible. Shai is a great defender. Averages about, I think it was 2 to 3 steals a game. That's impressive for your best player who's dropping 30. I mean, this isn't Pat Bev out here who's only defense.
Shai's just really improving too, where like you were on him last year for sure. I was like, yeah, Shai's good. I want to see him do a little more. He's really stepped up, and his ability to make the game look easy is what I really noticed. Luka does that too on offense, but Shai both ends is really, really smooth, and he's getting to the point where Luka is offensively, where he can create, other people looks. He can create his own look, and he's making it look easy. So it's tough for me, honestly. I don't know if I'm going all the way there yet, but honestly, that's a take. I like it.
Shai has the potential to be better than Luka. He's way more athletic.
Yeah,
they're similar sizes, to be honest, not too far off Luka's height.
Mm-hmm.
Shai has been always since college. He's been drive to the hoop. That's his thing. Uses athleticism, draw fouls. But he's developing that 3, guys. He's getting it down to the point where people have to respect it. And that's where he is dangerous.
Right.
If you have to respect his 3, it's wraps for you. I'm sorry. It's fully wraps. And with someone like Giddey, who's, getting so good as well, I mean, he can get Giddey's driving in, kicking it to Shai, and he's hitting the shot. Or you have to come out on it, and he's dunking on the center's head. They're good. Thunder are making the playoffs this year.
That's crazy. And they were right there this year. So
they were.
Yeah, I just want to see what you said about it. I still don't – I'm not discrediting what you said at all, but just Luka to me at the end of the day.
He's in a bad spot.
He's in a bad spot. I think that's why in FIBA I really like Shai to be the best guy out of this when it's over. Luka, for me, I mean, it's just in the NBA, what he does night in, night out, it's just so impressive. I just can't go all the way there, unfortunately. For your sake, I got to ride my guy. But
no, go ahead.
I just think it's tough. But both, I think, with what Shea did last year, it's close. It's close, and that's impressive to say. I wouldn't have said this last year at all, and now I'm saying it.
Yeah,
it's close,
I'm not saying it's by any big margin at all.
Yeah.
Just on my team, if I was in the NBA, my coach, whatever draft, that's who I take.
I like it. All right, so the last thing we're going to run into here to show you guys, we're college basketball nerds at heart, right? We love our college hoops. So we're going to go into ranking our Big Ten freshmen.
Big Ten, boys.
We can shout out Hammer for this one. I know he did his top, I think 10 as well. So we love what he does. We had a podcast with him. We'd love to have him on again. But we're going to rank what we think are our top 10 freshmen coming into this year.
I agree. I think we start at 10 on this list personally.
Go ahead. You want to start us off?
Yeah, and we can just add in if you want to explain anything. But like 10, we have Gabe Cupps going to Indiana. Everyone knows him since the Bronny James Blue Chips days, followed his journey along. I think that he fits the Indiana mold. Shooters that aren't crazy athletic. This is kind of how their offense has been run. I think he fits very well for their offense.
He does.
He does. And they lost a lot of guys, right? I don't know if we expect Indiana to be,
Is Cobb back?
Who? Cobb? No,
he's gone too. Yeah.
He was a fifth year.
Okay,
he's gone. Trace gone.
China's gone.
And the Hood Shafino gone.
Yep.
I mean, that's enough already, just off the top of my head.
The other guy, a darker haired wing. I'm trying to remember. I can't draw a blank, but he's also like a.
You talking about the white guard?
Yeah.
I think he's there.
He's there, so he's good.
Yeah, he really developed as well. Sneaky, athletic.
You wouldn't expect it. Yeah.
But Gabe Cupps, I mean, I don't think he's going to start by any means, but he can come off the bench and be a guy that you can say hit a three, get a bucket.
He's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's got the tools.
We got to throw him in. By the way, this is our joint list, so we're going in together. I like Gabe Cupps at 10. I do. I think he's not talked about, under the radar. I'll say, to sum it up too. Not 9. Draw Gibbs Lawhorn. I'm saying it. Draw Gibbs. My man played at Montverde, so he played along with Coop. Yep, Coop Flag and him paired up last season. This kid is good. I think he's got that like dog in him, right?
He does.
He's got that energy.
Small guard,
athletic. Was he the one that was compared to Ja? We were looking.
I think so.
Okay, so
this that Ja 2.0 in one of his mixtapes that we saw.
So I like him.
Yeah, he's going into a spot that should be open for him. That's kind of why we put him at 9. He's going to Illinois, where the point guard spot needs work, and this is where he's going to come in. And I think maybe starting role, maybe right away.
He's gonna be a high impact player. They lost a lot in the guard wise spots. Now, I mean, Ty Rodgers is number 1 option, as you said. So he'll be right on, either right behind him or he'll be alongside.
It's going to be very interesting with Ty because, he came in pretty high recruit for Illinois, but there wasn't really a spot with Terrence Shannon transferring and, Meyer. So it was like, where does he play? And they put him off the bench, at like the 4 sometimes. I'd really like to see where they put Ty at, but it's not going to be the 1. So I think Draw Gibbs Lawhorn comes in.
Draw Gibbs, that name is sick.
To Illinois.
Yep.
At 8, we have Gavin Griffiths, guys.
We're putting the picture up right now. So we're talking about.
Listen, if you haven't seen him, this is why I'm laughing. It's just you never think this guy plays basketball. His interview, he was as dry as it gets, literally stale bread out there in the interview. But I mean, he has hype. He is 6'7", small forward, and Rutgers seems to do well with guys like this.
They do.
They really do, like Paul Mulcahy, guys like that.
Yep.
He fits the Rutgers mold. But he did fall for us. A lot of people had him higher than 8, but we got him at 8.
Yeah, he's going to be good. I think he's just the guy that he's going to be a laughing kind of player.
Yes.
Twitter will blow him up. It'll be good.
It'll be good. It'll be good for him. Who knows? Could surprise us. For sure.
All right, at 7, Cameron Christie. He is going to make an impact, guys. So brother of Max Christie, the biggest thing we'll note. So Illinois Hooper, Chicago guy. He's going into Minnesota. Again, I think good fit.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, again, for him. And I think he's going to be a wing guy. He plays D. He's pretty athletic from what we saw, too. So a lot of similarities to his brother.
A little smaller, I think.
Yeah, I think a little smaller, a little bit more slept on because Christie was top, 5-star coming in. So big recruit versus good recruit, top 100, but not that a level. But a guy will make some noise, I think.
I think so. And I think Minnesota being a rebuilding program might be perfect for Christie, can kind of come in and be immediate impact here as well. with a team that's not very good. They were trying to find their role. They weren't that bad last year, but they weren't good.
Yeah, they were one of the tough. They were bottom. They were bottom of Big Ten, but they weren't like when you played Minnesota, it wasn't like a walk in the park as it was before, maybe a few years back.
And I don't think the Big Ten is near as scary this year, in my opinion. I think that there's 2 top dogs, and then the rest could. I think it could almost play out any way based on the top of my head thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I think Minnesota, he can really shine and be maybe the guy for them.
Right.
And then at 6, we have Jeremy Fears, MSU. MSU, we're going green. Problem with Fears, right? Great player. We were very high on him, floor general. Could be the next Cassius kind of guy. But look at who State has still. Hogard, Akins, Walker. I mean, where does he fit in, That's what's tough. But he's going to be great when he does get in. Yeah. I truly do believe that.
He's got a lot going for him. He does.
Yes, he does.
He's a floor general. He's a Cassius Winston guy, right? He's going into the program. He's going to be the dude that's going to play, minutes behind guys, just like Cassius did. And he's going to learn so much. And he's even more athletic than a Cassius. He's taller. So this dude's going to be really good. And I think his minutes that he gets is quality. Like Izzo player. He just won't get as much because of the depth.
Who knows? I mean, the Hogard drama. It's like every other game with Izzo. Yeah. So Fears could come in.
Too many hot dogs.
University Wiener. Shout out to them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think Fears. I mean, he could come in and surprise.
Yeah, he could. All right, so now we're hitting our top 5. At 5, Scotty Middleton. Arguably, guys, at the end of this season, you could be saying Scotty Middleton is the best player, a freshman in the Big Ten. This dude can do it all. I mean, you watch some highlights. Guy's athletic, can shoot it. I mean, play defense. He looks the build. He looks the part. He's going to Ohio State, who has insane recruits that no one's really talking about. They were actually above Michigan State, I think, before all these recruits were coming in. And now you don't see them as headline as much, but they're a team that now with their freshman class last year, along with this one, could be really scary.
Yeah, I mean, they almost got Bronny James with how good their recruiting class was. I mean, that's the only reason they're not talked about anymore. Yep. Before Bronny James committed to USC, everyone's like, watch out, Ohio State's got all these weapons coming. Yep. And now they don't talk about it. But Scotty Middleton, still so good, athletic. He's going to get a poster dunk every other game, maybe, with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Like, wow, he's very good, for sure. So now we're at 4.
Yes, sir.
Cohen Carr, MSU guys. Power forward, athletic machine. I'd say he's the most athletic out of anybody on our list. And that's not crazy to say. He kind of reminds me of Miles Bridges coming in MSU. Everyone's like, can he shoot? Can he do this, that? Well, we're not sure with Cohen Carr yet, but we do know he's going to be very good on defense with how athletic and long he is. And he's going to be a threat near the hoop. Right?
And you're going to get minutes in college if you have both those things.
Yes. Easily. That's exactly what Izzo looks for.
Yep.
So at MSU, Cohen Carr, I think he's going to be very good off the bench. And with the big guy inconsistency with MSU that we saw last year, Kohler, Sissoko, Hall, losing Hauser, who was the most consistent big man for MSU. I really think you could see him maybe even crack starting rotation in a few games this year.
Yeah, he's got a lot of upside. That's his thing, right?
Yes.
So guy that didn't get as much hype, and now going into his senior year at high school, he really broke the scene. Everyone knows about him now, but a guy that's going to steadily improve with Izzo. He's going to fit the mold with a big man that he likes, athletic defender.
Yes.
He'll be good. At 3, Deshaun Harris-Smith, baby. Deshaun. This kid's laughing over here. All right, Deshaun Harris-Smith, Maryland guy, looks real. I mean, this dude's he's got a lot in his bag.
No, he does.
He's good. I mean, you could maybe talk on him more, but I think this guy's. I don't know what he's a little smaller, right? Was that what his thing?
I think he's a small forward.
Yeah, okay, small forward. He's a little bigger. So he's going to be someone I think that's Maryland, because Maryland has a few good recruits coming in. They're going to be making noise. They haven't really made a lot of noise since like that 2019 campaign they had with Big Goggles and Jalen Smith.
Yes.
So I like Deshaun Harris to be really start. The reason why we have him so high is because he's going to come in and he's going to start.
Yes. As you guys know, Maryland was the oldest team in the Big Ten last year, I believe. And they were just all wings. They didn't really have too big of a center. They didn't really have a point guard. But what they did have was great wings, old wings, Hart. He was the leader for them, 5th year, I believe. But Deshaun Harris is going to come in with all these guys. They left. Dante Smith, Hart. He's going to come in, be that guy. He kind of reminds me of a Terrence Shannon based on what I've seen.
Yeah, he's a shooter too. He's a 3. He
right,
can hit the
shooter,
3. Wow.
athletic, lefty. He's going to come in and be, he has to be the guy to me for Maryland. They were so old. Now they're going to be so young.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a rebuild for them. And he's going to come in and be that guy, probably show a lot of talent and probably be an NBA guy after 1 year.
He has the chance to be a number 1 option for Maryland, which is going to make him be top 3 for us.
100%. Then we have, Duke had this guy. He dipped because he was scared he wasn't going to play because every Duke big man's better than him. Migbako going to Indiana. He's about 6'10", I believe. Very long. Do it all kind of scorer. He plays defense as well with how lengthy and big he is. He's a very high recruit. Duke had him. He dipped once Kyle Filipowski said, I'm staying with Duke. Immediately entered the portal. Signed with Indiana pretty quick. Biggest Indiana recruit in this coach's era.
So that's big. He's going to make a huge impact right away. I think it was a great, smart decision by him. I mean, unfortunately for you Blue Devils, you don't get him. But if he wants to be the dominant player that he's expected to be, he's not going to do it at Duke as much. I mean, he could still be 1 and done at Duke. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's making a good choice. He's going to go join Woodson in Indiana. Doesn't maybe fit their exact mold, I would say.
No, I don't see
which is my only thing. But I think he's going to be someone that has to be in the rotation at all times.
Tough shoes to fill after Trace Jackson Davis for sure.
Yeah, that guy's the college basketball god.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's going to be tough for sure, especially with no point guard, no veteran point guard to really get him the ball, I think, which is really tough in the Big Ten, man.
It is. It's very tough.
So that's why we have him at 2. A lot of people have him at 1.
They do. A lot because of the dominance he brings. But at 1 for us, we're riding the green and white. We're riding the guy that jumped the scene his junior season to high school, became a top 5 recruit. This is going to be Xavier Booker from MSU at 1. I mean, let's just make it plain and simple. Athletically and size-wise, he is going to be the most ready probably. And, I mean, Cohen Carr is athletic and big, but position-wise, there's a little bit more room for him to play taller. So you can put him at a 5, which is where he will be based on probably our depth we have. Sissoko, we know what his inconsistencies are. Kohler's improving. But at the end of the day, I hope as an MSU fan that this dude comes in as what we expect and he becomes the starting 5 and plays the way he can to make us go win that natty. So I love Booker at 1 for us. We had to do it, but most people did have Migbako at the 1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, Migbako is overall, I think maybe has more tools, but Booker, I think, will be in the right spot. I think he will be in the perfect spot. I think that he will be able to start by the end of the year. I think he's really going to prove it. He's skinny, though, which is a little concerning. Sissoko just can't score.
It's the problem.
Booker is known for scoring way more already than Sissoko.
True.
And I think Michigan State, that's kind of their problem. They're always good on defense, right? But it's been, scoring lulls that time with their offense and Hauser missing. He was their second highest scorer, I would say. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd say you're right. I mean, it's interesting because I'm back and forth on is he a 4, is he a 5? Like Booker's he's skinnier, and you want him if Sissoko can like be dominant and be consistent, like put Booker at the 4, put him in the rotation.
He has games, but then he has brutal games.
Exactly.
Like the guy fouls.
That's inconsistency is why I hate him. I don't want him in the starting lineup.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
He's a great backup. Like that's who you want as your backup.
You see Booker at 4 or 5?
A 5.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they just have more depth at the 4. I mean, Malik Hall's like.
That's what I'm saying. Like they already like Kohler's a 4.
Yeah,
Kohler's a 4. So is Hall.
Yep.
So is Carr.
So you
need a center. That's what they need. Booker has to be a center.
Yep. We like it though. It's our top 10. I mean, it's a little different than the mold that you see out there, but we like our 10. We're confident.
This is what we're gonna ride with. It's not all about rank. This is what we think is gonna be impact players come in and be that good in the Big Ten. And guys, I hate to say it for MSU, but if you don't win the Natty this year, I don't know what we're doing. Tommy, this is your best team you've ever had.
23 years in the drought. Being in the Final Four, it's time. It's time, guys.
Don't you think it's time?
It feels great. It sounds good. Let's go.
Man, let's go. MSU versus Duke. It's happening.
Big.
Come on. It's in Chicago this year, and then we'll see each other in March towards the end.
It's going to be lit. All right, well, that's going to do it. We're going to be right kind of at the 40-minute mark. So, guys, hopefully this gave you some value, gave you some fun. We enjoyed it. Yep. We're excited to keep revealing things for you guys. Coming your way at Stick Kid Sports, episode 51. Fun time.
Yep. Peace out. Like, subscribe, everything. Leave a comment about the top 5s. All right, y'all. Deuces.
Peace.